Hey, this is Dave Loves Comics, and just want to just do a quick little video. And the topic of this video, we get to the nitty gritty, is merchandising, and that is something that I've just noticed something about DC Comics lately, and I really think that merchandising is probably one of the reasons why I think, and Warner, I think Warner Brothers think it's too, it's not really helping the Zack Snyder universe being continued. I have no weight in it, I've seen the movies, but I didn't protest it for it to come back out. But just looking at it, and I'm looking at, even though it got some success and the HBO and got some pretty decent numbers, why, with all of that, that Warner Brothers is just kind of turning their back, uh, on continuing it forward. And I think, and it just, my theory, I think, with Warner Brothers is because the merchandising of the Justice League Snyder world, uh, it's not doing as well. And I'd say that because you got to look at, there are comic book fans who are buying the Fungo Pops and and the T-shirts and the statues of the Snyder world. But I think pound for pound, that most mainstream folks uh, are just, they have more options to buy. People's attention span is real short. But I think in my mind, and I guess the best way to sum it up to me is, I think someone's grandson or granddaughter was like, I want a superhero shirt. Uh, I want a Black Panther T-shirt, and I want a Rocket Raccoon. Lego set, and I think that this child was probably, a daughter of one of the Warner Brother executives, and I say that that has to be a little bit of a wake up call, because I don't see a lot of people wearing DC Snyder products. I rarely see it, and I look for it too, because I'm a big T-shirt buyer myself. But mainstream America, Marvel has come up with characters in the since 2008 that are now everyday icons. I mean, as a big comic book fan as myself, to see people with Doctor Strange, Ant Man, Drax, T-shirts on, it's mind blowing. And Black Panther is it's an old character from the '60s, but people think he was introduced in the Marvel right now cinematic universe, and it's just amazing that, if you think of Halloween time, the costumes that kids are wearing, no loyalty, they just gravitate. And with Groot, and just by himself with the flower pot and things like that. Now DC is selling. Let me get this clarified. But people that I see wear DC stuff, they buy the legacy stuff, the things they think is going to last forever. Perfect example. I like this Flash. That's what I mean by legacy. So I see people, and this is, I think I got it at Target, but people, I see the Aquaman, but the blonde and blue eye. I see Linda Carter, but this Flash here. So people are buying DC, but it's not comparable with, from Man of Steel, Aquaman, and Shazam from 2013 to now. The only one that is really hands down serving it up is the Margaret Robbie, the Suicide Squad. But that's always a big seller, and her being a part of it continues to sell. Uh, but even non-Snyder stuff, I mean, the Joker movie was rated R, so it's hitting a different market, and Disney is Disney. But long term, you want people to gravitate towards the newer versions of the characters, and I just think, that with the Flash, this reboot that's coming up, that they having a lighter touch. keeping a little bit of, a little bit more different, more artistic, more than the Marvel. But I think they're trying to really expand their fan base to actually visually being walking billboards for their product. Because like me myself, like I could say example. This, this was from Batman and Superman, and when I wear it, people go, "Oh man, that's like 5 years ago," but I buy it, so it's rarely seen. This is another one. Batman versus Superman. You know, I, I rarely see it on anyone else. It's an old classic. Christopher Nolan, Heath Ledger, but this is not the Snyder world. But I'm just showing marketing. Now the marketing for that, unbelievable, unbelievable, well done. Will be always be a legacy. A legacy. Now, I'm even looking at, here's the Batman that's coming out next year. Nice look. I haven't seen a lot of folks with that one yet, but it'll probably catch on. But I'm really thinking one of the reasons with the Flash that's coming up, that's, I may be produced by Snyder, but they keep saying it's going to be a whole different direction. And I really think it's marketing because Michael Keaton, very successful actor, very great actor, one of my favorite Batman, my favorite Bruce Wayne. Uh, if you can get the Michael Keaton, Bruce Wayne, and Christopher Nolan Batman, oh my God, that would have been. But Michael Keaton's at the point he's working with Marvel. He's got a lot of acting jobs. So if you want to say, well, let's have Flash meet an alternative Batman, uh, it's quite a few number of well, not a whole bunch of them, but Nolan wouldn't have been. I mean, Christian Bale. I'm sorry, Christian Bale, my Batman. Okay, and Michael Keaton. But Christian Bale, I mean, he's doing Thor, so it's not like I'm sure he would have taken a somewhat of an offer. But I think that in their man with Michael Keaton is symbolic of one of the best marketed films. Besides Star Wars, the Star Wars, some, but and that's funny. I never thought about that. It's apples and oranges. But let me say, 1989 with Michael Keaton first was not really people was not really at first that excited about him. They thought it would be more of a comedy. Michael Keaton, Adam West style, Tim Burton, but P.B. Herman. People's like, oh, I'm not, kind of unsure about that. But once the trailer dropped, once the Jack Nicholson dropped, once people saw the sets, Prince with the music, I'm gonna bust that body. Big giant hit that cannot be oversold. But the T-shirts with the old black with the yellow and the black on it was everywhere, everywhere. Unless you was in that age, you may say, "Oh, Batman was." I guess it was a big hit because popping the Blu-ray. But the phenomenon of that superhero movie, it was unbelievable. It Slash from Guns N' Roses wore, the Batman T-shirts, and it just became the coolest and the hippest things. Even if you had no interest in seeing the movie, everyone knew Batman. But it was taken to a whole level because it was so many Batman everywhere. It was crazy. And I think that combining that Michael Keaton with that marketing, the old nostalgic folks like, oh, I'm not too much interested. I thought Ben Affleck was okay, and maybe Christian Bale, but the Michael Keaton, and he's still known. He's still a known working actor. He made a parody of superhero films besides just Batman, but bringing him back is a big deal and combining it with that flash of the Snyder world. It's not multi-universe. It's combining marketing two different audiences because they can have anyone to put on the Batman cape and say I'm a Batman from New World. They can have Robert Pattinson do a multi-crossal thing. I mean, or hire someone new. But the Michael Keaton and that Flash marketing, it's gonna be killer, and it's amazing. And I will wrap this up on one interesting point in merchandising because Ben Affleck and Esmeralda, they met two, if you count three movies together. They had a scene together. So you're the Batman, I'm rich, and but the marketing of it, because I don't know why they didn't have simple symbols of the shirts of the superheroes that Jason Momoa and Gal Gadot. It wasn't the most attractive looking merchandise to begin with, but the Flash symbol and the Batman symbol is going to be so combined together. It's going to be on top of each other. It's going to be the merchandising is going to be nuts. And with their update of the Supergirl who's going to be in the film and things like that. I mean it's going to make a lot of money, and I'm telling you, it's going to sell a lot more. So but this is what they want to put. But they by hiring Michael Keaton, they are creating this vibe and this direction to create that type of thing. And it's something a little bit more new. So merchandising with the Zack Snyder, maybe because it's geared to adults, but really wasn't. Like I said, I'm the only one I've ever seen wear, and not that I've been around the world, but I think DC feels we want modern merchandising, properties out there, to continue with it. Because I know with Marvel, Shang-Chi, with Marvel, Shang-Chi, Black Widow, Eternals, but even the Wanda and Vision, they have Funko Pops for every episode. I know because it's the time with the 50s to the 60s, it is absolutely unique. But the Funko Pops are selling out. I go to comic book stores, I see Black Manta, Shazam, Funko Pops everywhere. The comic book fans of the Snyder or the DC universe, DC Comics, it's always going to be there and always going to do pretty decent. But Warner Brothers they want visibility, and they want a larger life more than just big selling movies. I think that's hopefully that's the main thing, but it's a connection with it. And I know the Zack Snyder World has a connection with a certain fan base and a lot of fan base, but I just think mainstream folks, they just can't, they just can't handle it. And I just think that you go in a coffee shop, I see heavy set, Latino guys with big full beards and glasses on. They got a Marvel shirt on, got a Howard the Duck shirt on, or it just Captain America shield has always been popular, but it's just expanding of the choices, the shelf space that it's taken up. Marvel is more than Spider-Man and Wolverine now. Household names, it's really across the board. And DC will always have the more well-known superheroes. That's never going to change. There's never no competition. It's Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash. Get that 30 years over Marvel, they always going to be famous, But the legacy, the new version of these characters, it may start to fade from a different generation if it doesn't reinvent itself. And that is the weird thing, because people may start, other things besides comic book movies, Western, sci-fi, animated films, and it may be forgotten because, Super Friends and Justice League, you know, 90s, that carries so much, you know. And that's one of the things that you have to, I get tired of it, like most people, of the Marvel rebooting Spider-Man. Uh, you know, people say, "Oh my God, another Spider-Man," but you know, it's been a lot of Batmans too. But you know, but the Spider-Man, it reinvents itself to to a different market, younger, or golf, or older, and a whole new generation Spider-Man crazy. But Spider-Man don't even need it because that's outsells. That outsells everything. And Spider-Man, Batman, I don't think it's next to that. Spider-Man just the red and the blue, and he's a child. It just you can't get no. I mean, it's just that just that you know that's just in the Peter Parker story. But this about you know my point making this video just off the top of my head. I was doing my laundry and I'm looking at my shirts and I said, man, I'm such a nigga. You know, I love my little shirts. You know, I got a Batman, 89, 2001. You know, always with these shirts, but it's just like, man, you know, but that's just something to think about. But there's no right or wrong. There's really, you know, just a thought that's out there. But I really think that uh, Warner Brothers is they are sitting, they really putting some thought into it. Like I say, I think somebody's daughter asked for a Black Panther hat or something, and they probably thought, what about Cyborg? You know, and they probably say, oh, if it's from Teen Titans Go, booyah, you know, or you know, what about a Flash? And then they probably say, oh yeah, I love Grant Gustin, you know, on the CW, and that's weird. That's you know, see, that's the bigness of DC, but it's it's splitting their own market up, and I always go over that all of the thought because people even DC fans are not big CW fans. It's not they kind of look down on it lately. We got the movies, but the Arrowverse and Stephen Amell and all them folks, Supergirl, they made a lot of money. But that Flash, oh, I see Star Labs. I see Star Labs shirts all the time. I'm just like, oh my God, there's another one, you know. But that's my video. Thanks for tuning in. That's my little rant for the evening. And you clicked on, I appreciate it, and take care.